What's good, everyone? This is Artists of Truth. Today, I really want to touch on a very uh, touchy topic. Um, the most recent events was the separation of parents from their children, Mexicans who were actually here in the country allegedly illegally. I understand there are a lot of Republicans, Democrats, liberals who are on this tip about deporting the immigrants from this country. Let me be the first to say I do not condone the mistreatment and the kidnapping of children, from the parents. I feel there's a way of doing any and everything. In my 39 years of living here, just seeing how it's really funny that people come out and they're saying that Mexicans they need to go back to Mexico. They don't want to be taking care of freeloading people, which I have to say that Mexicans are one of the most hardest working people, group of people out there. I don't take that from them. I don't knock them for what they're doing. But what I will say is it's not fair. It's really not fair for any of us to talk about illegal immigrants being in this country when this country was basically built off of, how should I say it, immigrants. There weren't any British or European individuals on this land. This land belonged to Native Americans. It was occupied by Native Americans. So before anyone jumps out there screaming about, well, the Mexicans need to go back, this, that, and the fifth, they are here illegally, you really you really need a fucking wake up call. Look at how your elders got here. You had some elders that were passing themselves off as Native Americans and never had a drop of Native American in their blood. History doesn't lie. But also, I was listening to the whole incident with Sarah Huckabee being asked to leave a Mexican restaurant. Christian Nielsen, she was basically asked to leave out of a Mexican restaurant. Now, this is something that most Caucasians need to understand. Under no circumstances can you just go into just come right out of your mouth and say, well, Mexicans, are just, Mexicans are drug dealers, murderers, and thieves, and they need to go, back to wherever they came from, because if I recall, that was the same, that was the same ignorant, backwards ass shit that some Caucasians were saying about black people. That black people were subhuman. We are inferior to white man, and that we need to go back to Africa. You know, all sorts of bullshit like this, but forgetting where the fuck some of y'all actually came from. How the fuck y'all actually got here. And people just have a tendency, most Caucasians have a tendency to forget that. And it's, to me, that's weak, that's pathetic. But Sarah and Nielsen, they are a part of the cabinet of one of the most filled bigotry, racist, filled with propaganda and drama. It's like, what in the hell do you expect? You think for 1 minute that people are just supposed to bend over and just take whatever is being dished? Nah. I don't feel bad for Nielsen or Huckabee. And what Maxine Waters actually stressed for is right. It's right. I mean, hell, I don't care if it's even Trump. I'm like, you come into my barbershop and you want to get a haircut. I don't care how much money you're paying. You getting the hell out of my shop. I don't want you in there. Under no circumstances. Some of your views I can agree with. Some of your views is just totally and completely unacceptable. That's that's like a white racist calling me a nigger. You old nigger. Okay, you call me a nigger. But then you come into my business establishment. You come into one of my businesses like it's okay. Like, really? Who in their right mind would service any man or woman who is totally and completely in agreement with separating a child from their parent? And then when you separate them, you put them into some sort of cage facility as though there are some sort of animals. But I explained to a friend of mine that, what, this isn't new. This isn't the first time, because this actually happened once before, many years ago, with black people. This happened with black people. Technically, it's still happening now. So keep in mind that I endorse and I support Maxine Waters when she made that public disclosure. She wasn't inciting violence. Like, I know some people will be quick to say, oh, she's inciting violence. Before you jump out there and you say that, you think about all of the conversations, all of the public statements that Dick Trump made as he stood behind the podium talking with his fellow supporters and constituents. Every single thing that has came out of his mouth since he has been in that Oval Office has been to incite some sort of violence from police, from citizens. So before you say that Maxine Waters needs to be fired or removed, whatever, do yourself a favor and you go back and you listen to every single public speech that Dick Trump actually made. Listen, and you tell me if he's inciting some sort of a violence. But for the most part, protect yourselves and prepare for the inevitable. Protect yourself and your family. Take care.